Welcome to Extended Disc and today's webinar. We want to provide some background for those of you who may not have met us yet. Extended Disc is an international assessment company with operations in almost 50 countries and 250 team members. Extended Disc offers internationally validated assessments that can be tailored to clients' unique needs and preferences. If you'd like to learn more, contact us on our website or follow us along any of our social media outlets. As a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and all registrants will receive a link to the recording, and it will also be posted on our YouTube channel. Use the Q&A section to ask us any questions you may have. If we are unable to answer them during our live session, we'll reach out to all registrants with the response. Thanks for joining us, and now here's the host of today's webinar.
I love my grand entrance. Hello and welcome. My name is Christina Bowser, and I'm the training director here at Extended Disc. And joining me today is my wonderful colleague, Marku Kauppanen, president of Extended Disc North America. Hi, Marku.
Hello, Christina. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Today is part of our sales webinar series, and I like to kind of pose these questions to Marku. So today's question we're going to ask Marku is how to measure your competence in sales. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the tools that we offer and how they're used and what it is that is contained within the tool itself. So Marku, you want to talk about the most obvious one, which is the sales capacity assessment.
Yeah, of course, Christina. Nice to see you. It's good to be with you. So first of all, of course, we are talking about extended disc assessments, but sales capacity assessment is, as you know, Christina, is not actually based on the disc model. While it is in the same assessment platform that all of our assessments are, they call the Things platform, it is a different tool. And the tool was really developed with our sales clients, who are developing their salespeople. They want to hire the best. They want to develop them. They want to build successful salespeople. And over the few years that we developed this tool, we developed this suite of assessments called the Sales Capacity Assessment. It has a different questionnaire, takes about 25 minutes to complete. But just like with our extended disc assessments, once a person completes the questionnaire just one time, we're able to create different tools. And today we're going to talk about the competencies, which is one of the key elements that the tool measures. There are 18 of those. And as our clients told us, these are the critical things they want to measure. So I look forward to talking about those with you, Christina.
So, we're known as a behavioral assessment company. People are used to taking the DISC assessment with us. So how is this for someone who's a sales consultant or even like a sales manager? How is this different for them? Like, what do they get from this sort of tool that they don't get from the DISC assessment?
Well, of course, DISC we use in many different applications for leadership, communication, customer service, and sales. And what with extended DISC we look for is that hardwired behavioral style that remains very stable throughout our adult lifetime. With the capacity assessments, we are looking at where the salesperson is right now with their competency level, or what we call the sales mindsets. And of course, my favorite, the excuse index. And we can look at all of those in an individual level from a development standpoint, hiring standpoint, management standpoint, of course, team standpoint. So again, person completes the questionnaire at one time, and we are able to take different looks of the salesperson, whether it's a candidate, existing employee, sales team, or I'm a manager and I want to develop not only the individual, but my sales team. So there's a lot of information there, but it's not based on the behaviors. It's based on where they are right now with these different categories that are so important for us to understand if we want to really improve our salespeople.
So let's just highlight, Marku may or may not have seen these yet, but I just picked a couple of parts of the report that I thought were just kind of a key introduction. And the one that I get the most feedback that people are like, oh, I get it, I like it, is the executive summary. It's just one page of the report, but it gives such a great overview of the rest of the report. And some people just, they're like, they use this page and that's all they use. But there's so much more to this assessment than just this executive summary. But this is a great place to start. So Marku, can you talk a little bit about what is the executive summary and why do we see these kind of green lines and orange lines and these different sales competences?
Well, the thing with every aspect of this report, the sort of overall principle was, let's make it very easy to use. Let's make sure that our clients don't have to try to understand how to interpret the information. Let's focus on how they can use the information. So here, this part of the report, like you said, Christina, it's very popular because we use very simple, very commonly used 0 to 100% scale to understand how competent a salesperson is right now with these 18 different areas. And it's simply, you just look at the scores, higher the score, the more competent they are right now with the particular competency. So, whether it's 57% or...
Wait, Marku, I'm just going to zoom in a little so it's easier for everyone to see. So.
Thank you very much. So like here we can see prospecting 57%. So we understand that this person is fairly competent with that particular competency. But if you go maybe 5 or 6 down, gaining trust, only 10%. So if that is an important competency for a salesperson to succeed in their particular role, depending on, the kind of prospects they're dealing with, the kind of product or service they are selling, it may or may not be a concern. But of course, ultimately, the interpretation is very easy. Not everybody understands what 10% means, what 99% means. So it's very easy to interpret, and that's really was the intention when we created this product 2 years ago, to make sure that we focus on the scores, not how to understand the scores.
And with these 18 critical competencies, Marku, just to let you know, I just picked randomly 2. So I wanted to give like both ends of the spectrum. So the 2 that I picked for you to talk about is building rapport, which is at 29%, and then initiative, which was at the other end of the spectrum at 99%. So on the left here, we can start with initiative, which I mentioned was at the higher end of the scale at 99%. Can you talk a little bit about initiative and kind of what these focus pages are?
Yeah, absolutely, Christina. And one of the things that kind of may want to take a step or 2 back and say, hey, first we need to realize and we define everything very clear in the report, what initiative means or what building a report means. It's right there on the top of the page. So we understand how these competencies are defined, and then we have to determine are they important for us right now. And then we provide obviously the score, and we clearly define to all of our clients what the high score or low score means. We have definitions for everything. So you're not fumbling through your file cabinet trying to figure out what the definitions are, what this means. Everything is in the report. And then we clearly define in a very plain text, okay, what this competency level looks right now. And then we provide some ideas how a salesperson could develop this competency in this bullet point format if it is important for us to develop in a salesperson's role at this time. Again, if it's not important, low score, I don't care, because it doesn't matter. It's not important for us. But if it's critical, this is something we want to focus on, and we lay out very clearly what the development plan is.
Yeah, I think, remember, I'm just asking Marku to highlight some sections of the report. So some of the sections that you aren't seeing are things like the excuse index, which is how much of a person's time is actually devoted to the sales process or not devoted to the sales process. There's also parts of the report that contain questions that are, in some cases, they're development questions that if you were to focus on this particular sales competence, these questions can help push you in that direction. So they're very targeted, dynamic questions. They change as your scores change per competence. Um, were you gonna talk any more about this? Because I have lots of questions for you, Marco. So.
Well, I know, but no, not at a very detailed level. But what I'd say is everything is fairly cleared out. And if you want to understand more, ask us for a sample report. Once you see the sample report, you know exactly how we provide the information, what the information we provide, and then you can determine if it may or may not help you.
So one question that, if I were a sales consultant, listening on this, and I already have I'm familiar with the DISC report, so the sales professional report. Is it an either or? Do I pick one or the other, or how do I know which one to choose?
That's a great question, Christina. It really comes down to what you want to measure. And sometimes you may want to measure more than one thing. The way I look at it, this is my personal view, is that when I look at the DISC model, and we have a tool called Sales 18 that seamlessly aligns with these 18 competencies we've been have been talking about very general terms in this webinar. It's seamlessly tied to those 18 competencies, but DISC is how I'm hardwired with my behavioral style, how much behavioral modification I may need to make in order to succeed in these different areas. The sales capacity assessment looks at our competency level. What are the skills that I have right now? And do I need to develop any particular skills in order to be able to be more successful? So they're looking at same thing from a different angles. Hardwired, I look at more like in my core, who I truly am. What is the person that I am like, and how much energy and effort I need to expend to become more successful with modify my behaviors. The sales capacity assessment looks at my competency level. What have I learned? What I know right now? And what do I believe I can do right now? So that to me is more between my ears, what I'm thinking in terms of my logic, my rational thoughts, and those I can develop. But I need to understand where am I right now if I want to become more successful.
Awesome. That was a great answer. Very clear. Another question, again, from perhaps a sales consultant perspective is, I love that the development report makes sense. It's clear. It's easy to use. What about if I wanted to look for, a sales leader, or if I wanted to look at candidates? How can this type of report help me?
Well, the sales capacity is like our DISC assessments. You take the questionnaire one time and we can produce the results in different ways. With the sales capacity assessment suite, we have hiring reports that will provide the sales manager or whoever's making the hiring decision information about that candidate. So you can then determine, is this a person that I think will be successful and the best candidate for this particular sales role? Of course, you need to really first understand what you need to have. If you have no idea what creates success for you, no matter what assessment you use, you might have a little bit challenges there. So once you define what those behaviors are on the DISC side and what are the competencies you need, whether it's prospecting, whether it's initiative, maybe it's 5 of the 18. Once you identify what those are, then the results will be provided very clear scores. Okay, this is where the person are with those important competencies. This is a good fit. Of course, you want to look at other information, the experience, education, many other things. You never want to make decisions in a vacuum, but this is valuable piece of information. What one of my clients said, whenever I hire against the assessment results, I tend to be in trouble.
Oh, wow. What a great thing what great feedback for the tool. Obviously we have a lot more questions, but our time is up. I think, Markku, you mentioned it earlier. One of the best things that we can do is just to try it, just to take a look at an actual assessment that we have. If you want to look at the, candidates assessment, if you want to look at the Sales 18, which is the DISC-based one, if you want to look at this one that we just highlighted, which is the sales capacity assessment, that's the best way. I mean, you guys are out there, you're in the field, you're going to know how to use it. And as Markku said, it's very intuitive. It's very supportive. You can use it and customize it any way you want. In fact, we're here to help you. We've broken it down into different types of reports. if you so choose to use it that way. Marku, any last thoughts, any thing you want to say, or maybe I just said everything? I don't know.
I think you said it all. Just give it a try. Just look at the sample, or even better yet, get one of your salespeople to complete it. And then when you have a person you know well, you see the results, everything clicks.
All right. Well, thank you, Marku. We do actually have another webinar tomorrow. It's called Why Your Customer Service Team Can Get into Trouble. I'm sure all of us have had positive as well as negative customer service experiences. So how can DISC help you make more positive experiences? So that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.